Today we're going to check out the S65C from Navi. This is an e-scooter that's focusing on comfort, durability, and performance. I'm talking about 40 miles range, I'm talking about a dual suspension, and the ability of getting some of the most comfortable rides that you can. Going over bumps will not be the same if you're using the Navi S65C. This is TK, and this is my review of this e-scooter after using it for the last 3 weeks. Let's check it out. Like and subscribe and make sure you hit that bell icon so that you're always notified to whenever we have new videos on the channel. And of course, we're going to start off by talking about the unboxing experience. The really nice thing about this is that for the most part, everything is pre-assembled. There's literally just one step that you need to do to mount the handlebars on the actual boom. And for the most part, there's 4 screws, 2 on the front and 2 on the back. A little bit of a tip, always make sure that the light is facing outwards and you'll never put the handles on wrong, because I've done this in the past and you always need to remember, just make sure that it faces in the right direction. And that's pretty much it. You pretty much get the charger, the instruction manual, of course, the screws with a little bit of a wrench to be able to put them on. And putting it together will literally take you less than 5 minutes after taking it out of the box. It's definitely well packaged, and everything that you get in there is what you need to get it going. The only thing missing is an app that you need to download on your device. Now, this is running on the Mi app, so this is going to be part of the Xiaomi ecosystem. You just need to download it directly from the Google Play Store, log in, and connect it to the actual scooter, and you're pretty much set. One little tip, before you do anything, plug it in, charge it, and make sure you run it so that you actually get the latest firmware notification in the app so that you can update it. I did receive one update since I got it, and one of the biggest benefits of this is it makes sure that all the electronics and everything is running good, especially if they discover things later on after they ship the hardware. Now that we've talked about the unboxing, pretty much all we need to know is that we have a 450 watt motor that has basically a maximum output of 900 watts. 40-mile range and about 20 miles an hour is going to be the maximum speed limit. It's rated to handle 22% inclines, but I've seen it handle other better ones. And one of the biggest things is just be aware that the speed will decrease depending on the level of the incline. Front and rear suspension for better comfort, and one of the best experiences with that unique design that we have on the front tire. 10-inch self-sealing tubeless tires, of course, to give you that best experience there, so you don't have to worry about flats. It's an IPX5 waterproof design, meaning if you go over some puddles, you don't have to worry about having any problems there. Of course, we have brakes, one handle on the left side, built-in LED display to be able to see the information on the scooter, as well as also confirming which mode that you're in. Front and rear lights, as far as a front headlight and a rear brake light. The battery is a 36-volt battery, about basically giving you that capacity to be able to go for that 40 miles. And of course, the maximum weight capacity at about 265 pounds. The scooter weighs roughly about 60 pounds, and we do have the smart application, which is basically the Xiaomi application to be able to control it on our device. 3 regenerative modes from basically light, medium, and high, and that's going to give you the ability of extending the battery life. So the higher the regenerative mode, the faster or the more battery you'll have, because it's regenerating it every time you're slowing down. Obviously, if you want just to cruise for an extended experience, you can go to the lowest setting. And we also have 3 speed options. One of them basically considered to be more of a walking speed, a second one that goes about 10 miles, and of course the last one that gets you up to that 20 miles. And the last thing that I really like about this that does not happen in every single e-scooter, it's the fact that it has cruise control and has something that's easily activated. Once you turn it on in the application and you start riding the scooter, remember you do need to kick off with the scooter. You're pretty much set after about 4 seconds of pushing on the actual throttle option, and you'll hear a little bit of a beep. That beep indicates that cruise control turned on. Now you can release the throttle and just focus on enjoying the ride. Speaking of which, let's go outside and check out all of the things we can do with the Navee S65C. Now I'm going to actually show you guys some of the benefits of having a dual suspension on this. We're going to go over a bridge. It's a wooden bridge, so there's going to be a lot of bumps. This should be a good example of what it sounds like and it feels like to be on there. And of course, we're going to do it with multicam, so we're going to show from the front and top. The controls on the actual display here are very nice, easy to see even with my glasses on. And again, the power button is pretty much a multi-function button. Double pressing it changes between the different speeds, and of course, the ability of using the bell in case we want to be able to warn some people. So I'm going to keep it in sports mode since that's literally all I ride. And now we're going to go over the bridge. Push and let's go.
Now, the first thing I'll probably say is this: the suspension handles it very well. You still technically feel it, but it's just not that jarring motion as if you're actually pounding it with your knees directly onto the ground. So that's the benefit. You get the suspension benefit, both the front and the back, and I really like the design that we get here. And of course, the smoothness of the ride, so that at the end of the day, when you get off of this, you don't need to rest. You've had tons of fun. So hopefully this was a good example. We're going to actually now jump into doing, obviously, the acceleration test. We're going to keep doing it at basically the sports mode, mostly because I feel like the other two don't really give us the full potential of the scooter. So sport mode, basically acceleration and deceleration test. The Navi e-scooter doesn't have a pedal assist or anything similar to that. It has basically 3 different speeds and a full throttle that gives you a little bit of control over it if you just push it all the way, or you can kind of just barely give it a little bit of push. The other thing is we also have cruise control, so if you hold it down while you're riding it, depending on the mode that you're in, for about 5 seconds, you'll hear a few beeps, and that tells you that basically the scooter itself is going to be staying at that speed. If you want to release it, you can either hit the brakes or just give the throttle a little bit of a nudge, and it disengages from that. So what we're going to do right now is I'm going to go with the level 1, which essentially is considered to be walking speed. This is not going to be any kind of astonishing speed. It's just going to be enough for us to kind of simulate how fast you go in level 1, level 2, and then level 3. So let's go ahead and start. We're going to make sure that nobody's around us and if somebody's behind. There you go. We're going to start. You do need to give it a little bit of a push. And one more. This is actually it riding. At about 3 to 4 miles, it is walking speed. Now, one thing is you can change the speeds while you're riding it, so I'm going to just jump into the next one, which is the second drive. It's going to stop, and we're going to accelerate. You have to give it a little bit of push, and let's go. Now, level 2 is a little bit better. It does kind of double the speed, roughly. Hopefully, you guys can still hear me. And we are at about 12 miles an hour, and again, that beep that you guys just heard is the cruise control. So now it's gearing into basically the maximum at level 2. If I go to level 3, double pressing it, it's going to slow down a little bit to change gears, and I go ahead and accelerate. Now we're at level 3, which is sport mode, and this is going to be able to give us that 20 miles an hour. I'll go ahead and stop. And that's a good example of what you're able to do. Level 1 is about 3 to 4 miles, level 2 at about 8 to 10 miles, level 3 gets you all the way up to 20. Okay, found a good spot that has a nice long way. Keep in mind, obviously, if you're turning around and going things, the speed of the scooter obviously needs to slow down. You can't really do very heavy turns at 20 miles an hour. But maximum is 12. We are in sport mode. We're going to do an acceleration test, so I'm going to keep going until I hit 20. Once I hit 20, I'm going to decelerate. I'm going to give a little bit of a push, and let's go up to 20. Okay, 16, 17, 18. That beep means we are running in cruise control now. 19. Insane, and then let's go ahead. Okay, now we're doing 20 miles an hour. I'm going to go ahead and give it a brake. That was a quick acceleration and deceleration. One thing to note though, keep in mind, it was a little bit of an incline, which took me a little bit longer to get to the 20. So I was around 18, 19, and then dropped back to 17, and again back to 20. But again, good acceleration, deceleration. The motor is really nice. It's not too abrupt. It does take up. You do need to kick start it a little bit, so this is not going to be where you accidentally hit the button and then suddenly just kicks you off. So it's definitely very nice, and one of the better suspensions I've seen on a scooter. Again, city rider, but definitely very comfortable.
Very few scooters on the market can provide us a unique experience similar to what we're getting here with the S65C. It's comfortable, it has enough power to be able to pick up. One thing I probably would have enjoyed a little bit more is the ability of starting off from a full stop. It does require a kick, so you have to actually kind of push it up a little bit and then turn it on for it to start. It prevents accidental starts, but in my opinion, I like the option to be able to switch between one option or the other. You can configure everything that you need about it in the app, of course, update it and make sure you get all the instructions in case you have any concerns. But at the end end of the day, this is a scooter that you can use and you could go with anywhere you want. The one thing I will say, it is not a light scooter at about 60 pounds, so definitely make sure you work on those muscles if you want to take it upstairs. But if you want to take it in an escalator, put it in the trunk, there's not going to be any problem. It will go with you. The S65C is something that you probably want to use in, let's say, for the last mile solution, in town, obviously in urban areas, and even a little bit over some gravel and some sand. It will handle the experiences. As you saw there with the bridge that I was going over, it was basically an all wood bridge, and it was super comfortable. You can hear it, you know you're going over the wood, but the biggest thing about it is that you don't feel it at the end of the day in your knees. And for me, that's a big benefit when it comes to a scooter that's priced at this range. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you very much to Navi for letting me check out the S65C, and please let me know in the comments below, what do you think of this type of scooter? I know it's a unique scooter, but it is available for us in the US, and this is something that we can definitely enjoy on the weekend. I'll see you in the next video.